Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. I'm an original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank. The cannabis real estate market is established and continues to grow. Pelorus Capital Group is a data-driven asset manager specializing in private credit financing solutions for the cannabis sector. Their team focuses on cannabis use properties and leverages their first mover advantage. Equipped with real-time market data, a deep network, and a stellar reputation, their underwriters execute exclusive deals with conviction. Joining me today is the president, Rob Seacrest. And Rob, hey, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So how did you actually get into this cannabis space?
Sure. So we've been credit lenders for decades doing traditional transactions, and our local congressman was Dana Rohrabacher. He was the one that passed the most consequential legislation to ever pass in the country, which was the Rohrabacher-Blumenauer Amendment, which defunded the Department of Justice from any prosecution of a cannabis-related business.
Wow.
When we saw that happen, we realized this is our opening to lending in this sector. And so we started analyzing the sector, and by 2016, we started originating our first transaction. And since that time, we've done more than $500 million of transactions.
$500 million, wow. And I think along the way, did you guys achieve an investment grade?
We did.
Rating?
Yeah, so we were the first of many in the sector. So we were the first private lender directly focused on just cannabis lending assets. We were the first to launch a fund. We were the first to do a private mortgage REIT. We were the first to get an investment grade rating. And we were the first to get the highest rating ever issued in the sector, regardless of whether you're public or private.
Wow. And there's some changes happening in the industry, right? The Trump administration recently did a rescheduling.
Yeah.
And that's been a positive thing for the market.
That's
right?
a massive tailwind. What most people don't realize is that most things that everybody is talking about is legislative. In legislative, you can't get the 60 votes needed to get through the Senate for the filibuster. But the rescheduling is from the executive branch, and it's executive order, and it was initiated by the Biden administration to asking HHS to reschedule cannabis from Schedule 1, no medical use, to Schedule 3. They approved it.
Yes.
The next step is to go to the DEA for approval. The Biden administration, for whatever reason, just dropped the ball. They couldn't get it across the finish line. It's purely under the executive branch. There's no reason it shouldn't go. The Trump administration came in, and then last month in December, Trump went ahead and pushed it forward, and so that should be implemented here by the first half of this year.
That's great.
In addition to the rescheduling, another benefit that most people don't realize that's a massive net benefit is because cannabis is federally illegal, cannabis businesses have been paying taxes on their gross profit on their federal tax returns.
Top line gross.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that rescheduling is coming through, that means that they only have to pay taxes on their net profit.
Net.
So that, we estimate conservatively, is at least a 20 to 30% uplift to the bottom line. In our case, some of our companies, that's a 50% uplift to the bottom line. So not only does it change the net profit for the companies, but it also changes the multiple of the exit of what we sell those companies for. So prior to rescheduling, they're trading at about 4 to 5 times multiple. We believe that post-closing, it'll be 8 to 10 times.
So, as you look down the road, maybe cannabis becomes federally legal. And if that does happen, will you be competing against, like, banks, for example?
Sure. So cannabis being federally illegal is because of a prohibition on it.
Okay.
And so even if you were to end the prohibition, it doesn't make cannabis federally legal. It just makes it not illegal.
Okay.
So, and it's an important distinction because you still have all these states that have their own, legal system that's happening in those states. So I don't see a world where the Congress is going to go ahead and approve cannabis at the federal level, because you're not going to get the states that were early adopters to now give equal access to the states that were the last ones to come along and to get the benefit.
Gotcha.
And there's other states that are disproportionately benefits, like California, than other states.
Some intricacies, but some opportunities, right? And so, there was an awesome turnaround at State House, right? Can you talk about that?
So our fund lends on the value, the cost basis of the real estate, but we cross-collateralize the company, which would be the tenant, whether they're affiliated or not, meaning owner-user, the brands, the licenses, the accounts receivable, everything. And in the event we have to foreclose on the real estate, we need to be able to reposition that real estate for specialty use again if necessary.
Okay.
State House, we made a loan of about $77 million on about 6 properties with a value of about $110 million. We took back the real estate, but we also took back the company. So the company, we put it in receivership last May. We ended last year while it was in receivership doing $100 million in top line revenue, got it turned around to profitability of $7 million at the end of the year. It was losing $1.3 million a month when we took it over.
Where do you see the fund in 3 to 5 years? There's folks out there that are maybe interested in this opportunity.
Yeah, so there is 2 strategies. There's the private credit strategy, and then we have an equity strategy. The equity strategy is what we're more focused on right now because that's where the opportunity. This is kind of the same as the great financial crisis of 2009. You're able to pick up assets for less than it would cost to build those assets. And so what we're doing is we're aggregating assets. For example, State House is the 4th largest vertically integrated operator in California. It owns 333,000 of indoor cultivation, 40,000 of manufacturing, 13 dispensaries, and it's vertically integrated, and that's the only way you can scale and be profitable in one of the most competitive markets out there. So what we're doing is we're acquiring assets. The story is the same for all cannabis. It's euphoria when the state comes on, then it is compression, consolidation, and then durable growth.
There you
so
go.
we're looking for assets to add that are complementary to our State House ecosystem and building on that and picking up those multiples with our equity fund.
Very good, very good. Well, Rob, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. There's folks here that might have an interest because there's great opportunities here as cannabis expands across the United States. And I want to make sure that you visit peloruscg.com to get started. Rob, thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.